What is going on, everybody? My name is Nick Stevens. I am a USAPL club coach, commentator, and competitor. And thank you for joining me for the 2023 USAPL Raw Nationals Primetime Roster Reveal. Raw Nationals this year is going to be held in Memphis, Tennessee at the beautiful Renaissance Center. And Raw Nationals this year will be presented by SBD Apparel, as well as our other sponsors A7, Renaissance Periodization, Texas Strength Systems, and Team Roar. Lifters for the primetime sessions of Raw Nationals were selected using three main criteria. The first of these being the minimum dots requirement. So all of our lifters in the primetime sessions had to have met a minimum dots in order to be in the session. So males, that is a dots of 475 points, and for ladies, that is 450 points. The first lifters selected for primetime were the lifters within the top three qualifying totals within their weight class in the open division. And then next, all remaining spots were filled by lifters and their proximity to podium, which was really just how close their qualifying total was to the top three in their weight class. And then using those criteria, all spots were filled until we had full 12-person flights for each primetime session. In the event of a tie for the last spot in the primetime selection, an extra lifter was then selected to fill out the rest of that flight. All right, so y'all, let's not waste any time. Let's get into the action. We're gonna start off with our day one Flight A lifters. So starting off right at the top of our action with our 48 kilo ladies, it's gonna be a very, very tight three-way battle between Demetria Thayton, Leanne Lee, and Kate Cohen, all three of whom have amazing coaches, have had excellent training. For example, Demetria Thayton, coached by the Oracle, Steve DeNovi himself. Leanne Lee, coached by the Swolefessor, Marcellus Williams, both of whom have had excellent training days in their prep. Kate Cohen especially, her deadlift has been going through the roof, so she'll definitely have the advantage going into our deadlifts for prime time. Going into our 52 kilo women, we'll have a very solid battle with both Jaslyn Pepper West and Ariel Patra, both of whom very, very familiar with the national stage. Jaslyn Pepper West been in the pro level stage as well as the national level stage. The coach of Team Fueled, her training has also been going completely ridiculous. So we're very excited to see what she will come up with on the day. And then Ariel Patra, no stranger, like I said, to the national stage, but we don't know what her training looks like. She posts no footage, and when she does, she's hiding the weights. So it'll be a complete surprise what she'll get to put up on the platform that day, but we know it'll be worthy of a primetime performance. Up next, we've got our 56 kilo ladies, rounded off by Maya Wright, who has an absolutely insane qualifying total of over 450 kilos. Not to be outdone by Avi Liu, who won the Pro-Am at the Arnold. And then we've got Becca Nuns, who is just coming off a phenomenal Atlanta primetime performance earlier this year. And then last but not least, in our first flight, we've got our 60 kilo ladies, rounded off by Christiane Hazard, Caitlin Berry, and Frida De La Pena, all three of whom have had excellent training up to this point. And so we're very excited to see what they're going to be able to put up against each other, as well as against all the rest of the ladies in this flight. All right, let's keep the action going. We've got Flight B for our first primetime session. Our only 56 kilo lifter to make it into the primetime session was Newton Chang. And then we've got a very nice four-way battle forming in the 67.5 kilo class, all of whom have qualified within 25 kilos of each other and are very close on dots. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how that battle will play out on the national stage. All right, folks, and that's it for our day 1 primetime session. So now we're going to move on to our day 2 primetime session, and we'll start y'all off with flight A. These are going to be our ladies in the 67.5 kilo class. Now, folks, this is going to be a power-packed, strength-stacked, star-studded flight for our second day of primetime. We've got Gabby Martinez, who's rounding us off at the top of the list here. She's going to be the lifter to beat with the highest qualifying total. And then we've got Samantha Calhoun, Jen Thompson, multiple nationals level competitor, Carmen Hu, Laisha Gardner, Cassandra Carlton, and the list goes on and on for all of these strong, competitive ladies that are going to be showing out on the platform for that first flight. All right, guys, we're going to carry on to our second flight of lifters for day 2 of our prime time. We've got our 75 kilogram lifters and our 82.5 kilogram lifters. Our 75 kilo weight class, gonna keep continuing with the theme here, guys, is gonna be super, super stacked. We've got Austin Perkins, Joseph Bornstein, Anas Ambar, Eric Lapointe, who's former national champion himself. They're all gonna be going up against each other to battle for supremacy in the 75 kilo weight class. All right, follow that up. We've got our 82.5 kilogram power lifters in our primetime session. Ladies and gentlemen, the 82.5 kilogram weight class, formerly the 83 kilo weight class, is probably arguably one of the most competitive weight classes in the history of the sport of powerlifting. And the competition that we're gonna see on day 2 is going to be no different. All of these powerlifters are going to put on an absolute show. Jamar Royster, one of the biggest squats in the game. Christopher Perez, Angelo Fortino, the professional of powerlifting. Hamstring Poppy is going to make another nationals run. Sean Noriega. And then Lucky Lifts, Alex Luckow is making his own primetime debut. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to want to miss any of the action that's going to go on for our second primetime session. And that is going to be it for our day 3 flight A lifters for USAPL Nationals 2023. It's going to be our 75 kilogram lifters and our 82.5 kilogram lifters. We've got Jasmine Penn leading the pack of the 75 kilo ladies. Returning champion, looking to retain her title, obviously has the highest dots and the highest qualifying total. But right behind, we've got Brandis Dye. She just received her pro card and a win at Carolina Primetime in just a few short months ago. So it'll be interesting to see how that battle will play out on stage. And then our 82.5 lifters, we've got one of the most famous household names in powerlifting, Daniela Mello, obviously the heavy favorite to win for that class. All right, folks, so that is going to be our roster for Flight B of Day 3 primetime at USAPL Nationals. Very, very clearly the heavy favorite to win here, Brandon Petrie, almost more than 50 kilos ahead of Benjamin Poor and Dominique Fuqua. Both are just having absolutely phenomenal trainings up to this point. Not to be outdone, we've got Daniel Howell, who's going to have a phenomenal deadlift, Connor Borker, Kyle De Leon. And then we're going to go on to our 100 kilogram weight class. Marcus Adudu, he is going to be the favorite to win this class. He is nominated first based off qualifying total. And then we've got Jonathan Hill and Lorenzo Wright looking to come right behind to try and swipe that first place spot from him on that podium. There it is, folks. That is going to be our roster for Flight A of Day 4 of our primetime session at USAPL Raw Nationals. In the 90 kilo weight class, we've got Kiana Peak. Now this is not her first time at USAPL Raw Nationals, but this will be her first time debuting at the #1 spot in the primetime session. Coming right behind, we've got Marina Shelton. She's only a few kilos off of her in terms of qualifying total, but their battle in the 90s is really gonna be an interesting one to watch. And then going into the 100 kilo weight class, we've got Gabby Phelps, who's really fresh into this new 100 kilo weight class. She's normally always been lumped into the super heavies, but she's really flourished in this weight class, and she's opening almost 60 kilos above our next lifter in that weight class. And then moving on to our last but definitely not least weight class for our ladies, Alexis Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, the Alexis Jones out of Midland University. She is opening at a whopping massive 701 kilos. And ladies and gentlemen, she is on track to have the highest drug tested total by any woman in history in the world, which is an absolutely phenomenal feat that we are lucky we get to watch at 2023 Raw Nationals. All right, folks, and that is going to be our last roster reveal for 2023 Raw Nationals Primetime. This is Day 4, Flight B. And so we've got our 110 kilogram weight class to start off. And there's 3 names that you're not seeing at the top of that list: Bob Matthews, Ashton Rauska, and Keenan Lee, who would normally be pretty heavy contenders for the 110 kilo weight class, especially in the primetime session. However, they have all chosen to compete in the morning session on that day. In the 125 kilogram weight class, Rondell Hunt and Jared Martin, those are gonna be our 2 big names that we're gonna be watching out for. Jared Martin coming off a second Nationals appearance, and then Rondell Hunt, who unfortunately will not be able to compete for any placing or anything like that. He is competing as a guest lifter out of Trinidad and Tobago, but a USAPL pro nonetheless. He will have a well over 2,200 pound total to put on display for us on the national stage at primetime. Going into our 140 kilogram weight class, Michael Astrologo, he's going to be coming back to retain his nationals title at 140. And then at 140 plus, our heaviest weight class on the day, Josh Longoria, looking to retain his title in the 140 plus kilo weight class. And then Nathan Redwing is going to be his primary competition. He is ahead of him on QT, but it is a very short distance between them, so we'll see how that battle plays out. All right, folks, that is going to do it for the 2023 Raw Nationals Primetime roster reveal. Thank you to everyone for following along as we highlight these phenomenal lifters and their storylines. And don't forget to tune into our live coverage of Raw Nationals starting September 14th right here on the USA Powerlifting YouTube channel. My name is Nick Stevens. It has been a phenomenal pleasure getting to be with you all tonight, and we'll see you soon.